Man UTD favorites in PL to sign 52.6 star, club ready to accept payment plan, Manchester United were able to defeat newly promoted Luton Town 1-0 at Old Trafford. But the overall performance was once again not up to the mark. The Red Devils must reinforce their squad in the winter transfer window, and the priority should be on strengthening the back line. As per reports in Portugal, United, Liverpool and Real Madrid are after sporting CP star GONCALO INACIO and will see him in action tonight against Benfica. If reports in the Spanish media are anything to go by, then Man Ud are favorites in the PL to sign the Portuguese international from the Lions. According to a story covered by AS yesterday, news image provided below, the Old Trafford outfit are searching for a new centre-back, and for INACIO, United are the first option in England. Real Madrid are leading the race as the 22-year-old defender himself wants to move to the Bernabeu to follow in the footsteps of Portugal legends Luis Figo and Cristiano Ronaldo. INACIO's contract with the Lisbon side has a release clause of 60 million euros, 52.6, but as claim. Sporting are ready to accept a payment plan involving an initial outlay of 45 million euros and the rest in the form of easily met objectives. It is reported that Manchester United are Real Madrid's strongest rival in the race to lure INACIO in the January transfer window. In your opinion, should Man Ud activate the release clause to sign the Selecao star in winter? Man Ud could oust Casemiro with move for 35 Nuetra's orchestrator. Manchester United look like a shadow of their former self this season, as they currently occupy a lowly 8th spot in the Premier League table. Following their latest defeat, a 4-3 loss to FC Copenhagen in the Champions League, United have won just 8 of their first 17 fixtures across all competitions, and this type of form has placed Erik ten Hag under a lot of pressure. The Dutchman hasn't been helped by an injury crisis which has engulfed the squad and ruled out key players such as Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez and Casemiro as of late. His transfer business, however, was slightly underwhelming, and there is a distinct lack of depth in the squad, which has impacted their performances so far this term. The January transfer window is fast approaching, and this could give Ten Hag the opportunity to add a player or two into his current squad. Man Ut transfer news. According to Football Transfers, the Red Devils have already made contact with Fluminense regarding midfielder Andre, with an approach said to have been made amid growing speculation that the in-demand talent will be departing the Brazilian side sooner rather than later. The report does go on to state that no formal proposal has been lodged as yet, but with other clubs such as Fulham also keen on luring him to the Premier League, Ten Hag may need to act swiftly in order to secure his signature. Liverpool were also in the race for the talented midfielder. Yet it looks as though they have pulled out and are now searching for alternative targets instead, leaving the door ajar for other clubs. Fluminense are reportedly seeking a fee of between 30 Mallards and 40 Mallards, 26 and 35 Mallards, in order for them to sell Andre, and with the club securing their first ever Copa Libertadores last weekend following an extra-time victory over Boca Juniors, his stock has risen. Man United player ratings. Harry Maguire was the best player on the pitch at Old Trafford, but Christian Eriksen struggled and limped off with an injury in the Red Devils' much-needed 1-0 win against Luton. A rare goal from Victor Lindelof was enough to see Manchester United squeeze past Luton and move to within 3 points of a Champions League spot. The win eased pressure on United boss Erik ten Hag following their midweek loss to Copenhagen and ensured the Red Devils go into the international break free of unwanted headlines. Despite the victory, there will still be some concerns over the performance that saw the home side struggle against their newly promoted opponents. But given United's inconsistency, beggars can't be choosers. As for the Hatters, they suffered another gutting narrow defeat after a resilient display. Rob Edwards will be frustrated, but there'll be plenty of positives to take from their trip to Manchester. Here, Mail Sport takes you through who thrilled and who had an afternoon to forget at Old Trafford. Made a really impressive diving save to deny Carlton Morris's header at 0-0, but didn't have much else to do. Will have been glad to get another clean sheet under his belt after shipping 4 in Copenhagen. Sergio Reguilón, 6, chose gloves, despite far from freezing conditions, and it was a limited display from the fullback. Was hooked before full time in favor of Raphael Varane. Will have better days. Harry Maguire, 7.5. The biggest compliment to Harry Maguire right now is that his place in the side, on form, cannot be questioned. Was again the most dominant defender across the back line. Victor Lindelof, 6.5. Bagged his 4th goal for Manchester United. His first in front of United fans since 2019. And few will have brought as much relief as his goal here. Ended up being shifted out to left, back when Raphael Varane replaced Reguilón for the final 12 minutes. Wasn't caught out in the same way he was at Copenhagen a few days ago, but this was a frustrating display from a player fans have seen do so much more going forward this season. Christian Eriksen, 5.5, forced off with a knee issue and went straight down the tunnel. Doesn't seem to have the energy left to fulfill the role United need from a midfield axis in front of the defense. Needs transitioning into a cameo role to get the best out of him. Scott McTominay, 7, offers much more consistent work rate in the middle of the park than Eriksen does and was in the thick of things when Lindelof scored. United need to find more ways to get him involved further forward, which he has shown for Scotland is where he can shine brightest, but this showing produced more positives than negatives. He appears to have Ten Hag's trust and looks unlikely to be dropping out of the team anytime soon. Alejandro Garnacho, 6, simply had to score when picked out unmarked inside the area by Rasmus Højlund. Took way too long and it was snuffed out. No doubting his potential, but he needs to deliver more consistently to merit starts. Bruno Fernandes, 6'5", actually looks to make things happen, even if they don't always come off. Sprayed the ball around well and did a lot of the mopping up too, with Eriksen limited before he went off. Nobody can accuse him of not trying. Marcus Rashford, 6.5, cut a frustrated figure to start at the end of what has been a tough week for him following the red card in Copenhagen, but good players find moments and he was pivotal in United's goal after drifting onto the right before fizzing a ball in that eventually broke for Lindelof. He just badly needs a goal to get a smile back on his face. Rasmus Højlund, 6, was given the thankless task of slugging it out up top on his own with 4 defenders at times honing in on him. He had a golden opportunity in the early stages to break his Premier League goal drought, only to see the ball cannon off his thigh and into the chest of Thomas Kaminski in the Luton goal. The